All hail the Clicks crew! Alright guys, today we're unboxing something that I've been really meaning to get around to, so please don't take my not reviewing it early as a sign that this isn't good. This is a really good starter set. This is the Heroclix Avengers versus Masters of Evil Heroclix starter set. So really cool box art here. You get a ton of figures with this. There's a lot of value in this particular set. So we've got some Masters of Evil over here. We've got some Avengers over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back of the box. So we've got Enter the Fray. Heroclix Battlegrounds is the ultimate showdown between Avengers and the Masters of Evil. You and up to 3 of your friends fight it out. Play with carefully crafted scenarios or create your own adventure. Recreate your favorite battles in 4 different settings, including Iron Man's workshop and Ultron's lair and more. New to Heroclix, no problems. There are 2 dials included for each figure in Marvel Heroclix Battlegrounds. One dial is more straightforward and easier for new players to learn, while the other adds a few powers and abilities to work with. Both dials are faithful representations of their characters. So you get 10 pre-painted miniatures, 10 cards, 18 object terrain markers, 1 powers and abilities card, 4 full-colored maps, 2 6-sided dice with special Avengers logos, a core rule book, 8 scenario cards with bystander tokens. So here's a picture of that stuff. Very cool looking set here. So we're going to go ahead and unbox this, take a look at everything that comes in it. And yeah, so let's go ahead and crack this open. But before we do this, I want to take the time to let you know that Mr. Clicksflix is sponsored by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning role for our gaming needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafé.com or in their Facebook page using the link from the description of this video. Mr. Clicksflix is also sponsored by trollandtoad.com, one of the largest online gaming retailers. Visit trollandtoad.com and use the promo code Mr. Clicksflix for 5% off your Heroclix order today. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into this. Alright, so here we are with the figures and everything unboxed from the set. As you can see, you get a ton of stuff, a metric ton of stuff. So over here you have your powers and abilities card. You're going to need that as a new person or as a veteran to reference for all the different powers that these characters have. So that is represented by the colors on the base. So the color has a corresponding thing on here, and it lets you know what game effect that has. So as you can see, we have 5 Masters of Evil and 5 Avengers here, so it looks really cool. These are our dice. Both are the same. It's a really cool red Avengers symbol on the 6, and then everything else just standard red pips on a black die. Really cool there. You get these other bystander tokens. The purple around it means that it's just for the scenarios. It's not for standard Heroclix play, but some really cool things here. We've got characters like Black Panther, Wrecker, MODOK, Taskmaster, War Machine, Nick Fury, and then a bunch of Ultron drones on the reverse side. So I think the scenarios are going to be off the hook. We've got action tokens here. They've never given us a starter set with action tokens, so I think this is pretty cool, even if they are cardboard ones. So when your Heroclix figure, if you're new to Heroclix, does something. Typically, you give them an action token. Normally, it maxes out at 2, and then some other things happen. Then we have the object tokens down here at the bottom. These are significantly smaller than normal, but I like that. I've always thought the object tokens were a little big. And then on the reverse side are light objects. So those have different game mechanics for you. Then we've got 2 of the 4 maps here. So Ultron's Lair, and Castle Hideout Outdoor. Let's go ahead and see what the other maps are at least called. So the reverse side of Ultron's Lair is Helicarrier Indoor. So really cool. We get a modern age helicarrier map. And then the reverse side of Castle Hideout Outdoor is going to be, if I can get it, Iron Man's Workshop. So really cool, and that's an indoor map. So those are your 4 maps. It's 2 maps, double-sided. That's how Heroclix maps are. It's nice. It makes it so things don't take up as much space. Then over here you've got your core rulebook, and you've got 2 cards worth of the terrain markers and stuff like that. So you've got barrier, special, 3 smoke, same thing, and then reverse side are debris markers and water markers. So you get 2 cards worth of that. Plus you get your 10 figures here. Now what they mean when they say that each one has 2 dials, it's you get 1 physical dial, but each one has 2 different, it's a split dial, and that is indicated by this, if I can get my camera to focus, that is indicated by this split dial where it's the blue is 50 and the 75-point red line. So you will see it'll be, there's a little blue line there at the beginning of Captain Marvel's. Then you kind of click it around, gives you your new stats. You'll see there's a couple KO lines, and then there's your red stat line, which is going to be different. They're all they might be different points, but they all have that same general idea with how you derive their stats and their powers. These are the character cards. These have been around in Heroclix for a good long while. And what these are is these kind of let you know what your individual character does. We're going to set those other cards off to the side here for a second. So here we've got Ultron, Captain Marvel, Mach X, Baron Zemo, Red Skull, Winter Soldier, Hulk, Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, Ultron again. This is the other for the other dials now. So Captain Marvel, Mach X, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hulk, Winter Soldier, Red Skull, and Baron Zemo. And as you can see on these ones, this is the new card design where they have the Heroclix team abilities listed on it as well as what it does. That didn't always used to be a thing in the past. So still happy to see that they're doing those. And then on the reverse sides of them, you'll see the point line that you're paying for that one. So for example, this Ultron's 100 points, and you see their stat lines there, so you can reference those, or your opponents can reference them without doing anything to the physical figure itself. I think this has been a pretty good thing for the game. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what these figures do. We're going to take a look at them. I suppose we're going to take a look at them, both versions of each character at the same time. Kind of makes sense to me. What do you guys think? You guys go ahead and let me know in the comments below how you would have handled this type of thing as I separate these cards for you, because I am nothing if not prepared for these videos for you guys that I upload for you to enjoy. One more, and there we go. Everybody's all separated out. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these. We're going to take a look at Ultron, since he's the first one we looked at. So he is number 110A, and we're going to... Ooh, I don't know what happened there. So here. There we go. Maybe that'll help my... autofocus's cause. But here we are. He's got Masters of Evil, Future Robot, Scientist, Ruler keywords. As you can see, only a couple powers because this is meant to be the base version. 50 points, 6 range. That's the only part that should really be the same, as well as these symbols will be the same from dial to dial. 10 movement with sidestep, 11 attack, 18 defense, invuln, indomitability, 3 damage. For 50 points, that's not terrible. And he's got prob on his last 2 clicks. So, pretty decent there. Then we've got the next one, which has Masters of Evil, Future Robot, Ruler, and Scientist keywords. He has a trait, Age of Ultron, phasing teleport free, roll a d6, phasing teleport if at no cost, but only move up to the result. So basically it's sort of giving you a pseudo movement attack. I think that's really good. For 100 points on the right map, you could do some cool stuff with it. You've got the 10 movement with that special, 11 attack with Psychic Blast, 18 defense with Impervious, 4 damage with Probability Control, and Indomitability. So there is Ultron. All right, so now that we looked at Ultron, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Baron Zemo next, I suppose. Number 107, sorry. So since this is a starter set, they typically have a 100 numbering. So we've got Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts, Martial Artist, and Soldier keywords. This is the simpler version, so he's 25 points, has a 5 range, single target, 8 movement with nothing on it, 11 attack, 18 defense, toughness, indomitability, 3 damage with leadership. That's actually not bad. 25 points for leadership with 11 attack, that's a competent secondary attacker there. So really good there. Next, if I cannot bump my camera, is Baron Zemo again. Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts, Martial Artist, and Soldier. Are these matching up just so maybe I don't have to read them both all the time? Yeah. So this is the B version. This is the quote-unquote good version, even though the base versions are still good for the points. He's got a special on his damage called A Better Plan, Leadership, and Perplex. We see here that he's 50 points, has that 5 range still, 8 movement with sidestep, 11 attack with Blades Caused Fangs, 18 defense with combat reflexes, indomitability, 2 damage with that special. 20 defense up close is just good. 11 attack. I'd like to see that as a charge, but I think they gave most characters for movement attack, they just pretty much gave them sidestep so that people didn't like start hypersonicking around the field and stuff like that. So this is a really good Zemo for 50 points. Next up, we'll stick with the bad guys. How about let's do that? We'll do all the Masters of Evil first, then we'll do the Avengers. So we've got Red Skull here, number 106A, Hydra, Masters of Evil, and Soldier. He is 50 points, has a 5 range. Seems like we're seeing a 5 range a lot. What was Ultron's? A 6 range. So ranges in this set are kind of middle of the road for modern Heroclix. 8 movement with nothing on it, 10 attack with poison, 18 defense with nothing on it, indomitability, 3 damage with outwit. Sadly, this isn't a great Red Skull, but it's better than the one from the main set, Captain America set. So good to see there. And speaking of the Captain America set, something to talk about is that we have Chase and super rare sculpts in this. So the sculpts in this are actually really, really good. So good job, WizKids, on the sculpt reuse for this, because you picked some good ones to use. So here we've got 106B, so this is the better version. We've got a special on the attack called Dust of Death, poison, but damage dealt is penetrating. Penetrating poison is always phenomenal. Then he's got this special, You Cannot Defeat Me, stop. The first time each game Red Skull would be KO'd, instead roll a d6 and heal him equal to half the result, protected pulse wave. It's always good when you can deny a KO. So he's 75 points, still has that 5 range, starts off with an 8 movement with sidestep, 10 attack with that special, 18 defense with toughness, and indomitability, 3 damage with outwit. For 25 points more, this is a much better Red Skull here. You've got the penetrating poison, you've got the outwit. You've got even though it's a light damage reducer, it's still damage reducer. So this is a pretty decent little Red Skull here. Next, sticking with Masters of Evil, we've got 2 left. We've got Mach X, is number 108. This is the A version. Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts, Armor, and Scientist keywords. 25 points, has a 6 range single bolt, so tied for longest range in this little set here. 9 movement, but we see with our first character with the flight ability, 10 attack, 17 defense, energy shield deflection, indomitability, and 3 damage with enhancement. That's pretty good for 25 points. The ability to attack, see, have a 19 defense at range, and increase range damage for friendly characters is actually really good. So for 25 points, this is a really solid figure. I'm happy with him. Next, we have 108B. He's got all the same keywords. Special on his damage is Beetle Armor Upgrade. Enhancement Perplex, but only to target opposing characters. So you can only use your Perplex on opposing characters. 75 points, 9 movement with the flight ability and running shot, 10 attack with energy explosion, 17 defense, energy shield deflection, indomitability, 3 damage with that. Special. So you're gaining a Perplex even though it's only for opposing characters. You're gaining running shot, you're gaining energy explosion. This is still a pretty solid version for 75 points. I like the 25 point version a lot more, but this one's pretty solid. All right, and the last of the Masters of Evil themselves are Winter Soldier. So he's got Hydra, Masters of Evil, Assassin, Soldier, and Spy. Keywords. He is 50 points, has a 7 range, so this is the longest range we've seen so far. 8 movement with stealth, 11 attack, 18 defense with indomitability, 3 damage with range combat expert for 50 points. This isn't a bad secondary attacker. I could see people making a go of it. That 18 with nothing on it means he's likely to get poisoned. But again, this is kind of a toned down version. I think for new players, especially dealing with somebody in stealth with a pretty high range, when you consider what's in this set, that's dealing potentially 5 damage, I think that's going to be a lot for people to deal with. So they're going to really think within the set he's good. Next, we have 105B Winter Soldier, who has this special called Who is Bucky, and it's on his movement, plasticity, sidestep, and stealth. That makes him 75 points, has that 7 range still, 8 movement with that special, 11 attack with whatever that is, precision strike, 18 defense, combat reflexes, 3 damage with range combat expert. For 75 points, this guy's not bad. I like this one better for only 25 points more. You're getting a lot more utility. You're getting a 20 defense up close, hopefully getting to take advantage of your combat reflexes. This one's better. I like how not all the figures are just good at the lower point and that they're not just good at the higher point values either. That's really important to me whenever I purchase stuff, that like not all of... it's not a lock. Like, it's not all the low points are going to be the good ones and not all the high points, because I want to be able to mix and match my teams to the best of my ability. So, yeah. All right. So that is all the Masters of Evil. Now we're going to go ahead and check in with the Avengers as I recovered the cards from around here. So we've got 104 Hulk. This is the A version. Avengers Brute and Monster. He's 50 points. Avengers team ability. 8 movement, 10 attack with super strength, 18 defense, invuln, indomitability, 3 damage. For 50 points, reduced by 2, gets up to a 12 attack for 4 damage, potentially 6. I like it. For 50 points, this isn't bad. I wish he had sidestep, but again, this is kind of the new player version of him, so we can't expect too much. 104B. He has a special now on his attack, which is the strongest one there is, super strength. When Hulk makes a close object attack, modify damage by an additional +1. So for those of you that don't know, when you use one of, for example, these red objects, these are called heavies. That means you deal an additional 2 damage. If you use the reverse side, which is yellow, those are lights, so it's an additional 1 damage. So this gives an extra 1 damage in addition to those, so it would be a +3 or a +2 for those. 75 points, has an 8 movement with charge, 10 attack with that special, 18 defense, invulnerability, indomitability, and 3 damage. And then later on we get down to the flurry. Ooh, it's worth 75 points for that last click to be able to hit for 8. Possibly, well, let me see here. If you had an object, I don't know if you could use the object attack with, I don't think you can use the object with flurry, but you could hit for 8. So that's worth it for him. Next up, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Black Widow. So here she is, number 103A, Avengers, Martial Artist, Soldier, and Spy keywords. She's 25 points, has a 4 range, dual target. I normally like dual target figures. Avengers team ability, 7 movement, 11 attack, 17 defense with super senses, indomitability, 3 damage with shape change. Those two powers in combination are going to make her really tough to deal with in lieu of Pulse Wave, because you're going to have to sink probably 2 outwits into her. For 25 points, this is a nice little tie-up figure. Next is 103B. She has 2 specials. She has the first one on her movement, the Itsy Bitsy Spider Sidestep Stealth, and the other one is Super Spycraft, which is on her damage, which is Close Combat Expert and Shape Change. This one's 50 points. She has a 7 movement with that special, 11 attack with Incapacitate, which is if you hit, assigns action tokens to your opponent, 17 defense, indomitability, and super senses, 3 damage with that special. This one's a lot better. That other one's good if you only have 25 points. This one's better because she has that Close Combat Expert and sidestep, so she's able to deal 5 damage up close if you're able to get in there. This is good. I like this one a lot. Next up, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Mr. Stark himself, number 102A. So this is the simpler version. Avengers, Stark Industry, Armor, and Scientist keywords. This one is 50 points, has a 6 range, single target, 9 movement with sidestep and the flight ability, 11 attack, 18 defense, indomitability, 3 damage with range combat expert. For 50 points, he's not bad. 5 damage potentially for 50 points is good. Plus he can taxi. Not bad. Nice taxi for armor, scientist, and an expensive taxi, as funny as 50-point taxi would be for Avengers. He's kind of expensive considering they have some really cheap ones. Next up is 102B. He's got a special on his movement. Got to make this one count. Running, Force Blast and Running Shot. And then special on his defense, help me out here, Friday. Stop Toughness. 75 points, starts off with a 9 movement with that special, 11 attack, Psychic Blast, 18 defense, Energy Shield Deflection, and Indomitability, 3 damage probability control. I like this one a lot. For 25 points more, you get Move and Attack, you get Psychic Blast, so you can defeat heavy reducers. You've got your probability control, 20 defense at range. This one's 25, definitely 25 points better than the other one. So that's pretty good, Tony Stark. Next up, we're going to take a look at Captain Marvel, and you saw in the unboxing portion, she came off her base. You see she's back on there fine. These have switch click bases. I'm not quite sure why, because they don't, as far as I know, switch to any click, but you just click them back in there, and easy peasy lemon squeezy, right as rain. All right, so she's got cards. 109A, Avengers, Kree, and Cosmic. So we'll see if Cosmic gets another feather in their cap. 12 movement with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense with indomitability, and 18 defense, 3 damage with empower. She's also got a 6 range, single target, Avengers team ability, 50 points. This isn't bad. 6 movement, charge is good. And then she has running shot, back half of her dial. That's not a terrible Carol. Next, we have Captain Marvel B. She has special on her movement called Higher, Further, Faster. Hypersonic speed. When Captain Marvel uses it and hits after resolution, she can use charge at no cost. That's big. That's a good power. So she's 75 points, 6 range, single target, 12 movement with that special, 10 attack, 18 defense, invulnerability, and 3 damage with Empower. She has Flight and Indom also, so you're able to Hypersonic up 12, attack. If you hit, then you can use Charge again. 75 points. You ought to have enough Perplexes to get that attack up to something respectable, because 10, quite frankly, for what she has, point-wise, is a little low. But and then she ends up with Pulse Wave. Yeah, Running Shot, Pulse Wave. This is a good Carol Danvers. If you're not able to get the super rare one, which is still pretty expensive, this is a good replacement. And again, I like that WizKids reprinted, for lack of a better term, characters that were hard for people to get a hold of, and they made Not the exact same version, but a version that was attainable and reasonably good to use. So, we've got the super rare sculpt for Captain Marvel. We've got the Chase sculpt for Ultron. I don't know too many people that missed out on these two. They ended up being relatively cheap, but we got two good versions of those. A better Red Skull than in the regular version. So again, just good to see them going kind of in a different direction with these reuses. So here we are, Captain America. This is the last figure to look at. 101A, Captain America has the Avengers Shield, Martial Artist Past, and Soldier keywords, and the Avengers team ability. 25 points, has a 5 range single target, 8 movement, 11 attack, 18 defense with energy shield deflection and indomitability, 3 damage with leadership. 25 points for a leadership isn't that bad. 11 attack for 3 damage is a good secondary attacker for 25 points. That's good. You could run him with a few shield diplomats and a piece of equipment, get him some move and attack. I could see running him for 25 points as a really good tertiary attacker. Next is the B version of Captain America. He has one special, which is the defense. It's called the Shield. Energy Shield Deflection, Toughness, Unique Modifier. Adjacent friendly characters modified defense +1. So that sounds pretty good there. 50 points. Has an 8 movement with running shot, 11 attack, precision strike, 18 defense with that special, and indomitability, 3 damage with leadership. For 50 points, this guy's really good. The ability to +1 defense, anybody he's adjacent to. Plus he has energy shield deflection, so that makes him a 20, and it'll make his friendly characters, +1 is just good. It doesn't specify for ranged or close, so it's just basically eminently helpful. All right, so that is all the characters. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the scenarios, maybe just what the scenarios are called. So we've got Scenario A, Jailbreak. And if you guys want to see me play through these scenarios, make sure to post that in a comment on this video, and maybe I'll make that happen. Scenario B, Meanwhile at Stark Tower. Scenario C, Avengers Assemble. Here, I'll try to get my hands out of the way too, so that maybe if you want to, you can pause the video, see what these cards do, so that you can make a decision on whether or not you want this. So far, I'm seeing this is a good value. So Scenario C, Avengers Assemble. Scenario D, All According to Plan. Scenario E, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Scenario F, Ultron's Lair. And Scenario G, A New Age of Ultron. So really cool there. There are backs to these. Like I said, if you guys want a scenario video, let me know. I'll be interested in giving that to you. If there's interest in the video, you guys let me know what you think of this starter set on your own. Again, I think this is a really solid starter set. Most of the figures, the A or the B version is useful. You get good guys and bad guys, so no matter what your proclivity is, you're able to get something you like. Comes with 4 maps, everything you need to get started. So this is a big thumbs up in my book. Good job, WizKids. You guys let me know, again, what you think of it in the comments below. What figure was your favorite figure from this preview? Because I always find that stuff interesting. That's all I have for you guys today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.